Man, I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan. I'm not one of those people who's rich from reviewing or playing anything in this series, but it'd be dishonest of me to not credit Akira Toriyama with informing me a lot of what I like in Shonen. The last two videos I did were about my first time foray into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I want to take a detour before I talk about part 5 to weigh in on why Dragon Ball has sort of lost identity. Now I'm gonna be super duper clear. I'm not talking about money when I say this or trying to imply that any of this is why it recently lost top spot to One Piece. As far as revenue splits are concerned, it's pretty clear that Toei wants One Piece to be its flagship series, at least until Oda decides to pack it up. Anyone still claiming that there's an underdog relationship between its success and the series is coping, right? No. This problem with Dragon Ball has been around long before it lost its spot, and the return of Super did a lot to reinforce the feelings I have in this regard. I'm not starting off with love this time like I usually do. Let's get into the problems. This dude is the embodiment of all lazy praise heaved onto Dragon Ball. Every time you hear someone say that Dragon Ball isn't written very well, or that something doesn't matter because it's just Dragon Ball, picture this white-haired fuck in your mind, and I can already hear you. Beast Gohan Cope, you're just a Gohan hater like everyone else. Wrong, head ass. In a vacuum, he's a character that does cool things, but we've had 15 years of them showing us that Broski isn't that guy. You know what this reminds me of? Walk and talk with me, because you're smart and an adult, and I can say fuck around you and not get in trouble. It reminds me of when Pokemon fans are really mad at Nintendo, and then the new Pokemon game gets announced, and they're like, oh my fucking god, I love Slop. Slop is my favorite, actually. Like, where was all that indignance before? This is a reach, but I know at least a few of you have watched The Simpsons, or have had the thought, man, The Simpsons just isn't as good as it used to be. There's at least someone out there who says, SNL isn't as funny as it used to be, because it's just gone on too long. It's not like how it was back in the day. So why in the hell am I still putting up with debates regarding characters as lazy as Beast Gohan being good for a series that used to have reasons that characters transform? Do you really think that a back tingle is a good reason for a character to transform in Dragon Ball when the first Super Saiyan transformation was sparked by intense grief during a story that was the culmination of a decade of writing at that point? Are you an insane person? And somehow you think that redoing the Cell Saga transformation to Super Saiyan 2 is as interesting and compelling as Gohan fighting with the turmoil of being a Saiyan and his life as a human. Maybe you weren't there for the boy who got his neck broken on Namek, and if you weren't, then this doesn't really apply to you. But if you think that the best outcome for Gohan is to be a lazily written stand-in fighter when they don't want to use Goku, I don't know what to say to you. I guess I could jingle some keys that'd be about as entertaining as like soul-searching and substantive. You see, Dragon Ball has gotten this really weird stigma around itself that it's poorly written because it's not deep. I have a genuine newsflash for people who are like adults who have read or watched other things but still enjoy Shonen. None of these series are particularly deep. I always see people talk about like Attack on Titan or Jujutsu Kaisen. Maybe you could say Chainsaw Man, because it seems like no one really understands Chainsaw Man. They for some reason think that Denji's in a cool position when he's not. Like, more people should feel bad for Denji, but they're too attracted to Makima to think clearly. I mean, the kid's being groomed. There's this weird video essay disconnect that's popped up on YouTube where like people think that just because plot lines are simple and easy to follow, that they are inherently bad. This is wrong. Maybe you need to hear that too. This is wrong. So what is the big problem? If something isn't like particularly substantive, why can't we have Beast Gohan? Why can't we have Jiren and Goku just punching each other? And the answer to that for me is that I don't think Dragon Ball has told all of its stories yet. For whatever reason, Dragon Ball is in this rut where Goku needs to reset to 0 so that he can be interesting. But where is my Goku, who at the end of the Z story is a teacher, is a mentor? We see him now with Broly, but look how long that took us. We had, 8-9 years of Super to get to that point? If I wanted narrative depth and interesting plot hooks, I'd watch something like The Sopranos. If I wanted something in the anime space that held some plot and philosophical substance, maybe I'd watch Cowboy Bebop or Ergo Proxy. But this is Dragon Ball, and we want to see people punch each other. Demon Slayer is another pretty low substance anime that is fun to watch, and it's already raking in billions of dollars. One of the highest grossing anime ever, and it's relatively new in the grand scheme of things. So why in the case of Dragon Ball that has existed for 40 years, I believe, why is it so far removed from the lessons, the tenets that made it great? that established the shonen and made it something that we still look forward to, you know, month to month. And I guess that's the shackle of success. Unlike JoJo's, which is a series that I think has only really gotten better with time, Dragon Ball is failing to maintain the things that made it special. Because we've allowed it to become Pokemon, because we've settled on things like Beast Gohan, do a Cell Saga, there's never really any reason for them to dissent. Even now, Dragon Ball makes up so much of the wealth earned by the companies that, you know, publish it. Why would they really seek to create a Cell Saga, a Namek Saga, a Buu Saga, when they could recreate a Cell Saga, a Namek Saga, a Buu Saga? I really am looking forward to things like Daima, not because I think it's gonna bust the series open, but because Toriyama worked on it closely, and, you know, for a man who recently passed away and I owe so much of my interest to, it's only in good faith that I can approach something that he genuinely wanted to work on. Dragon Ball Super Broly, at least from an animation and art direction perspective, gives me hope going forward for Dragon Ball Super or whatever they want to do with the Dragon Ball series. But as far as I'm concerned, narratively, they've just shown that they don't really want to take any risks at all. And I guess that's fine for most people. I mean, most people still, you know, love these transformations that don't really have any weight to them. They're just kind of hair changes and, you know, the aura change. But as someone who grew up with the series, as someone who feels a sort of affection to the series, who earns a smile every time I hear about it, I would like to see it return to telling stories that are worth watching rather than choreographing fight scenes that are. It really does remind me of hearing about Yuji and JJK for months and months on end when the anime was airing and going, oh, I should check this out. Just to watch him learn Black Flash off screen and then happen to be the primeval one who gets to fight anybody on their level. There is a difference between finding something cool, finding something fun to watch, and stepping back and being like, is this stupid? And listen, man, I love stupid. I mean, I've been a Bleach fan the whole time. Some of y'all haven't been Bleach fans the whole time. Some of y'all started when they started animating the Blood War. Not me, baby. I love slop. That said, there's just always the sensation of, what if they tried this time? It always just sucks to see reductive thinking used to bash these shows, I guess. But when Dragon Ball Super is written and characterized like a 6 out of 10, what am I really supposed to do? Just forget that Gohan really doesn't want to train anymore? Forget that Goku knows how to meditate? Outside of certain concepts like hits, time stopping, and Goku Black and Zamasu, I really just don't see that many ideas worth saving. And if the series isn't going to have the decency to be animated on the level of a JJK, be animated on the level of a Demon Slayer, then what are we really doing here? Anyway, rant over. If you enjoyed listening to me dunk on my childhood love, join the club, man. Subscribe. I've been lone, and I really hope Dragon Ball gets it together, or maybe it's time to put the old dog out. Peace.